Just to say, the last couple Tuesdays, the student government has been debating our resolution against police brutality and in solidarity with Ferguson. And Austin and Angelica and others of us spoke, and some of the conservative members of the student government got kind of freaked out, and so they keep tabling it like to the next week and the next week and the next week. And I think anybody here who could come this next Tuesday when they're going to be voting on it, we definitely want to invite people to come, 7:30 on Tuesday. But I wanted to invite Nadine and Helen to come up.
Okay, I tend to talk loud, so if I'm yelling, sorry. And also, I'm a little less impromptu. I actually have this written out because I tend to stutter, so instead of going on. Okay, my name is Nadine. I am a fellow freshman at the University of Michigan, and I'm here to not only represent the Muslim Americans on campus, but to also represent a voice to put a stop to the many misconceptions that are prevalent on our campus community. It is all too normal at this point in time for me to walk around and have people staring at me and have me feel alienated because I wear the hijab. With what has been going on with the horrid acts of ISIS, Muslims are being misrepresented in the news and in our communities. Growing up, I have become immune to the harsh insults thrown my way in regards to my religion and my form of dress. And in a way, I stayed silent and just shook it off as if it were no big deal. Yet, I have realized now, as I moved to the University of Michigan and have been a victim of these atrocities, that this is not okay. We need to stand up and make everyone feel inclusive on this campus. I think in part many people fear Muslims ever since 9/11, and now with ISIS claiming that they are, quote, Muslims, people are even more fearful. Let me make this known. These terrorists who call themselves Muslims are anything but so. The Holy Quran says it is the freeing of a slave from bondage, or the giving of blood and food in a day of famine to an orphan relative, or to a needy in distress. Then we will be those who believe, enjoy fortitude and encourage kindness and compassion, and then you are a true Muslim. This is a verse directly taken from the Quran, and if this doesn't tell you the level of righteousness that Muslims are supposed to have, then I don't know what will. These acts of goodness are the definition of Islam, not the treacherous hostilities and injustices brought about by people in the name of God. ISIS are people that need to be feared, and in no way are they a representation of our religion. I call upon you all to make it known that Muslims are genuine and righteous people, and rather than fearing them, befriend them. If you are confused, ask them a question. We love to inform. I can tell you how many times it angers me when people stop and just stare at me, instead of coming up to me and asking me what it is that's so shocking when they look at me. I've played soccer in cities all over the country and all over the cities, and I've had people tell me, take that rag off your head, or let me wipe my blood off my knee with that towel on your head. And honestly, coming to the University of Michigan, I believe that this would change.
Excuse me.
If you're confused, be sure to ask a question. We're all here as Michigan students, and we have all earned the privileges and rights granted to us when we are accepted into this community. Yet for some reason, this idea of diversity has become anything but so. I grew up thinking that the University of Michigan was an all-inclusive community. And since 6th grade, this has been my dream to attain status to be educated at the University of Michigan. So anyways, if you're fearful of an innocent Muslim, it is an act of false accusation and unfair judgment. We are all here as Michigan students. We have all earned our rights and privileges on this campus. Yet for some reason, I feel the need to defend my religion and my culture, because I am sure people around me have many misconceptions of my religion. In 6th grade, I decided I wanted to come to U of M. I grew up thinking it was an all-inclusive community. And I really believed when I thought of U of M, I thought I would come here and see so many different groups of people, and honestly, it's been anything but so.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have to walk to class or walk to the gym thinking about what people are thinking about me. In all honesty, I'm not insecure. I do not generally care about what people have to say about me. But when I'm walking, I think about the voices that are oppressed on my people. I think about the people on campus who are embarrassed to stand up and talk about the atrocities that they have experienced. I worry about it, and I try to defend my religion so that the Muslims who do not have a voice, and the people who are getting attacked, and the people who are mistreated have some representation in a positive and defensive light. If this were an all-inclusive campus, as I was bred to believe growing up, In my adolescence, I would not be constantly fighting for fear of the mistreatment of my people. My dear friend Tali here would like to share some stories about poor treatment of Muslims on campus. I ask you all to help our community take a step forward into accepting people of all religions and backgrounds. Thank you, and here's Tali.
Hi everyone, my name is Hala and I'm also a freshman here at U of M. I was excited to come to this school because of how diverse it is and how nice and accepting people here were said to be. Are they all really that nice though? I've only been here for a month and I've never experienced such racism in my life. The stares and whispers have become a daily and normal things to me, but the fact that I got swore at in Arabic by two white males while I was walking to dinner really shocked and confused me. I've never talked to these people in my life, yet they had so much animosity towards me. Just because I wore a hijab. They didn't know anything about me, not my name, nothing, just all they saw was the hijab and they automatically just swore at me in Arabic. This isn't where all the hate ends though. One of my friends was walking to Angel Hall around 7 p.m. when she needed to cross the street. She stood at the light waiting for the car to pass. The car wouldn't move though. Instead, the driver of the car waited for her to cross, which seemed exceptionally nice. But these people weren't intending to be nice at all. When she got right in front of the car, they decided to drive at full speed and shout Muslim out of the car window. Thankfully, she moved out of the way quickly, but this could have ended her life. Is being a Muslim American a reason for you to get hit by a car? If it were anyone else that hadn't been wearing a hijab, I'm sure these people wouldn't have behaved in that manner. School's supposed to be a place of safety, and now it's becoming a place of fear. If this happened to my friend walking to class, it could happen to me or Nadine or any other girl that wears a scarf. Now you may tell me these are just ignorant students, not the school that is intolerant, but that's where you are wrong. Just this past week, one of my other friends went to an interview as part of the Undergraduate Research Opportunity Program, better known as Europe. She applied for a multicultural research project that she was perfect for, but the interviewer thought otherwise. She walked in and he froze when he saw that she was wearing a hijab. She jokingly said, "I think he thought I was going to bomb the place." Just because she's Muslim, she doesn't have to be a terrorist. He still conducted the interview though with this frightened look on his face. She knew she didn't get the job, but it all became very real yesterday when she received an email from the head of the department offering her an interview with one of his researchers. She already had an interview though. And she had been told that the spot had been filled, which was a lie apparently, because the research sponsor was still looking for people to fill the spot. The interviewers didn't want her there so bad that he didn't even report that he interviewed her. She was more than qualified for the job, yet this PhD researcher that works with the university saw her hijab and ran the other way. Who cares if she wears a hijab though? She's not an alien or a terrorist. Muslims follow the religion of peace. However, they are made out to be these scary people due to stereotypes. Trust me, we are just a minority like the Black and Latina communities trying to live in peace. At the end of the day, whether you are white, Black, Hispanic, Asian, Indian, Arab, Christian, Jewish, or Muslim, we are all humans and should be tolerant of one another. I ask you to help spread awareness that the Muslims on campus are not here to stir up trouble, but rather to be part of the inherent diversity we are told to have here on campus.
Yeah, I just wanted to say thank you. I was on this campus, I don't know, a long time ago, whenever 9/11 happened, 2001, because I'm really old and I've been here a long time. And I remember since then, especially then and since then, some of the most vicious, brutal physical attacks, racist attacks that have happened on this campus have been against Muslim women specifically, who are covered. I remember a woman who was stabbed with a pencil in the cafeteria. One of our band members who was praying in the library, in the graduate library, she had her shoes off, and when she put her shoes back on, someone had put glue. So her shoe, like her socks, were glued to her shoes, and it was like really crazy. And I'm just really glad that more people are coming forward now to speak out against this. And like, anyways, so.
I want to invite all the Troy Eastside neighborhood young students to come up.
That's you. Go on.
Good day. I want to name Brianna. Oh yeah.
Hey, Justice, Jamal and Drew.
Okay. I want to ask
Justice, Jamal's still sitting down.
So, okay, welcome. So, I'll introduce myself first. My name is Justin Chao, and I'm a national organizer with BAM by Any Means Necessary. And I'm also an immigrant from China, and I lived in California for a while, and now moved to Detroit. And I want to talk a little bit about the campaign that we've been doing in Detroit against police brutality and the importance of fighting side by side with the community. And on August 13, when Ferguson, Missouri is still in the middle of riots and protests after the racist police murder of Mike Brown, police opened fire at two young black men, Dennis Arnold and Darnell Martin, who, without warning, in the East Side residential neighborhood on Berkshire, Nottingham in Detroit. It was 5 p.m., daylight, and children and young people were on the streets. Some of them, have been marching with us, who could have been another victims of police careless shooting. Inspired by the militant struggle in Ferguson, an angry crowd of 150 people gathered up and criticized the unjust police shooting in a manner of treating everyone in the neighborhood as criminals. The police then decided to make an example out of one of the people near the scene by brutalizing, mazing, and arresting Damon Smith, a local father of 3 children, who was just simply walking from the corner store to home. And the real message is clear. Police are waging a war, not just in Ferguson, but against every black Latino community in the nation and treating them as second-class citizens. 2 days later, BAM organized the neighborhood, take matters into our own hands, and marched in the local streets against police brutality. The march continued 11 days straight in a row, and often inspired many people to join, but the real heroes are the young people, the children, youngest from elementary school to high school students, who are because they have been the most determined and the bravest leaders in the marches. And as today, we're still marching every Saturday. The fight for real freedom and equality for Black, Latino, and all oppressed people, we have to, not only it's necessary to fight against police brutality, but it is also necessary to fight for equal opportunity, integrated education, decent job for all, knowing that our futures are bound together, and we have to link up our fights with Detroit and other Black, Latino, and poor communities, fighting for affirmative action and immigrant rights, for the rights of these young children and young people to go to the best university in this nation, including University of Michigan. Knowing that if we unite Black, Latino, Arab, Asian, white immigrants with and without papers, all working people, and all the oppressed, we can win. So these people are the new civil rights leaders, and I want them to say why they want to join BAM, what it means to join BAM, and what they would like to fight for as the new generation of the new civil rights movement. So Tayshawn, wants to speak first. So here comes Tayshawn.
My name is Deshaun. I would like to say about my ducking. He said every time we march, we had to turn all the lights. Every time we march, we don't see no lights at all. When we see lights, we supposed to have lights when we walk on the streets in case somebody get raped or anything. Something can happen to anybody or get killed or something at midnight. What's going to happen if somebody get killed at midnight? It's not our responsibility, it's my ducking's responsibility to fix our lights.
You were one of the first people to come to the marches. Like, how did you feel and what made you decide to join the marches?
Well, I enjoyed March. I just saw marching up the street and I was like, just go because it looked nice to me. Because there was a lot of people that looked nice. And they fight for our community. And I'll just go ahead and say, I fight with them too.
Woo! Good job.
My name is Sean. And I think that people should not kill others because we act now. I think God would like to kill people because and when I joined the march, I was going to be helpful and make them 2 minutes and pray for them. Yes.
You can join every single march. Every march. If you need an introduction. Everybody, this is Brianna. She's come to almost every march that we've had, and she's brought her siblings and her cousins. This is his sister Serenity, and she spoke at our tribunal in Detroit where we put the police on trial, and she's pretending to be shy right now.
Yeah.
But really, she's a very articulate and outspoken and bold young person who likes to speak her mind. Right? Come on, Brianna, they want to hear what you have to say. You want to think about it and speak later? Yeah. Okay.
Hello?
You got it. You started. There you go.
Who would like to read pledge 3? Number 3.
Okay.
You want to say something, Serenity?
Okay.
Come on, Brianna. Read number 3 for us. Hey, let me see that you guys. Marquis going to speak, and then you guys can speak.
Hello everyone, my name is Marquis Jones. I'm a Detroit high school student. I attend the Detroit School of Arts, which is basically a performing arts school in downtown Detroit. I am a dance major, which is basically Okay, DSA organizes their curriculum as if it were a college-based curriculum, so they refer to every curriculum as a major. And it works the exact same way as college does. You're allowed to have a major and a minor, and your major basically says what electives you get. So I'm a dance major, which means I am allowed dance electives. I have a choreography class, modern ballet, and that kind of stuff. So basically, I prepared a speech for today. And I want to start off by, I don't know if it's necessarily background, but I'll just read the speech. So, although I do not attend this university, I have been organizing on this campus for about a year now. I'm a BAM national organizer, and yeah. And even though I've only been organizing on this campus and not actually attending the university, like day to day, it still feels like I'm not welcome there. When I approach someone by saying, do you want to make a fight against racism, sexual assault, and hostile campus climate, people look at me like I'm crazy. One student even told me not to say the term racist because it might offend people.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, so the only people who would offend are the racists.
Yeah.
So, but the truth is that the minority students and women students deserve to be on this campus as much as everyone, without feeling like you shouldn't be here or being scared that you could be raped at any moment. These problems exist, and this university tries their best to ignore these growing problems and try to cover them up. But you can't put a filter on sexual assault or racism. We are making this fight so the university can't do it any longer. We are bringing real justice to this campus, and there will be no more business as usual and no more hush-hush. So I'm going into the part of the speech where I explain the inequalities in the high school systems throughout, like, Detroit and stuff. And so I actually plan on coming to UMSMTD, which is the University of Michigan School of Music, Theater, and Dance, for my BFA in dance. So when I first started attending DSA, I found out that the University of Michigan had a partnership with the school, which is obviously not a good one because they're not doing anything to contribute to the school's environment. And I basically think that the partnership that this university has with our school is an attempt to privatize it. It's my first year there, and I've already noticed that it's like extremely oppressive. So, do you guys see what I have on today? Do you see this? I was told I was out of uniform today. They told me I was out of uniform. And I'm like, what? I'm like, for what? And they're like, oh, your shirt, like, it's not the right color. But it's a standard collared shirt that's like allowed everywhere. And like, I guess this isn't acceptable either because they didn't like it.
What does everyone else wear? Khakis and blue shirts?
Well, no, okay, so the uniform is like khaki pants,
Okay.
navy pants, which is stupid that you're allowed to wear navy pants, not a navy shirt, and black pants. And the shirts are gold, white, and black. I wore a white striped button-up shirt, and they're like, oh, well, uniform. And the stripes were really, really thin, like, it wasn't black, but the stripes were like this thin across the shirt. And I'm like, that's really fucked up. Like, they almost sent me home for a striped, white, collar and everything button-up shirt. I'm like, that's ridiculous. Okay. These policies that I'm about to talk about are enforced throughout every DPS school, which is the Detroit Public School System, and every other predominantly minority school district, strictly for oppression purposes. 2 miles outside of Detroit in the suburbs, uniforms aren't mandatory, and I'm like literally speaking on 2 miles outside of Detroit. It's this like suburb of Detroit called Madison Heights, and it's only 2 miles out, and they have like campus high schools. And like you can really see the inequality throughout the city as soon as you cross the border or the city limit. We have security guards too throughout the district that act as enforcers for the policies enacted by the higher up racists, constantly yelling down the hallways, take this off, or you're not moving fast enough, making you not want to come to school in the first place. And these are all attacks on public education. From 2007, when the students at Osborne High School, a school in Detroit's deep east side, they walked out and they were beaten down and mixed. To the closing down of Detroit Day School for the Deaf, which was the only deaf school that existed inside of Detroit, and they closed it down. All the way to the battle for Kathleen Ferguson, which was a high school for parenting and nursing students. And what happened with Kathleen Ferguson is they privatized it and made it a charter school. Even the most recent attacks where seniors aren't allowed to graduate because they missed one class. And you would think that they would be able to graduate through summer school, but no. They had to repeat their entire senior year over for one class that was not offered to them. They wasn't able to go to summer school because the Detroit Public Schools did not offer that summer school program. And so they were like basically SOL, and they had to repeat an entire year of school over for one class. These fights are not separate. These fights are all one fight. We are exposing this university and putting them on trial. Last spring, we marched through this campus, through and inside of the financial aid office, to protest the university for not offering students enough financial aid or not allowing qualified minority students into this university. We marched through this campus with almost 100 Detroit public school students. With not even students from just BPS, 100 students from all across Detroit. And you can tell that the march was very successful because what the university did was, after we occupied the financial aid office, sit down an administrator to try to hush us. And even at the beginning of this semester, we marched against the sexual assault, rape, and harassment on campus climate, to double underrepresented minority enrollment for public education, and in solidarity with Ferguson. This university will not hush us up, and this is our home, and they need to open it up or we will shut it down. My name is
Open it up or we'll shut it down.
Open it up!
Or we'll shut it down.